Alright everyone, welcome back to Cody'sLab. So today I'm going to be giving an update on my evergreen cuttings. So first thing, a lot of people said that I'd be just growing mold, and that appears to be true. But I managed to control it by use of these springtails. And it seems to, for the most part, be working. The containers are not giant blocks of fungus yet, at least. You can see there's a lot of mold growth down in here on the rag. I should have used something that was not edible to fungus. But yeah, let's pull these out of there and have a look at them and see if we started developing any roots. I checked on these over here about a month ago, and they had this little hard growth at the end of the stick. Yeah, there's definitely some growth on this stick right here. There's like a cluster of new cells, and almost looks like root tips on the bottom of that. This one over here doesn't look like it's doing much. So hopefully that's started to turn into roots now. Okay, so I brought the boxes down out of the flashing lights, so hopefully we can see that a little bit better. Let's lift this lid. This is the Pinus monophylia. See how they're doing. Yeah, we got some mold growth over here. That doesn't look particularly good. Yeah, the needles are just falling off, so this one's dead. Just pull that out of there, no sense in keeping it. Let me switch over to the other camera lens, see if that'll work better. Okay, that appears to have worked. You can see the clover that's growing. This actually got in there with the springtails. You can see some of the springtail media. I was feeding them with clover leaves, and I guess one of them decided to take root and grow. So yeah. See, kind of interesting, there's actually moss growing in here. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, let me focus it. Thank you, camera. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of moss. Let's pull some of these out and see if they've got any kind of rooting. Yeah, that's dead. This does not look good. Did it dry out too much? It's still moist, but maybe it got too dry. Yeah, the leaves are just coming right off. So it doesn't look particularly good for this batch. Let's try one of those over there. The leaves are staying on that one a little bit better. Let's just stick it back in the media. Let's pull out the obviously dead and moldy ones. And I guess we'll put it back in the closet for another couple of months. Let's look at this other batch over here with all the other different types of evergreen. Some of these look a lot better. I think actually packing it full of plants does help, as it keeps the humidity higher. But there's also a lot more mold growth in this one. See that over there? That doesn't look particularly good. Maybe I should introduce some more springtails. Anyway, now I think I remember seeing the root growth on these plants over here, so let's have a look at these. Let's pull out this Juniper right here. Oh, that looks interesting. Yeah, it looks like the growth on there right at the end is a little bit bigger. Hasn't changed a whole lot though. That's definitely the start of rooting. Let's put that back down into the media so it doesn't dry out. Let's pull one of these arborvitaes out of there. Supposedly these are the easiest to root of anything that I've got in these chambers. Look at that, a clump of sand came out with it. That's roots. Looks like it even grew like a little taproot thing, which is damped off because it went down into the air. Look at that, little arborvitae. Is the other one's taking root? Let me grab some media, pack it around those roots so they don't dry out. Is the other arborvitae got anything? Just try to loosen it. Make sure I don't break it if it does have roots. It doesn't want to come out. Here we are. I think it does have roots. Look at that. Help if I focused, but oh my gosh, look at that. It's got roots all over the place. Awesome. All right, I need to go get some other containers for these. What do you think, kitty? Alright, so I've got these little container things. So this is basically a commercial version of what I was trying to make several years ago with my deep pots. The idea is that the plant can develop its roots down to a great depth, so it can actually get to the water before I actually plant it. So I'm going to fill it up with this potting mix that I've made up. This is basically the same as the medium that's inside of the boxes that they're already growing in, except I've mixed a bunch more organic material with it, and I just mixed in a bunch of potting soil. And that's got slow release fertilizer, which will help the plant, because I'm guessing they're probably pretty starved for nitrogen right now. So let's open this up. See, I just wrapped them in wet paper so the roots wouldn't dry out while I had them out of the box. Let's try to grab one. There we go. I'll just pack this in. I should have a little arborvitae. Awesome. Okay, water that in a little bit better later, but got me a little tree. Nice. Now, these probably won't grow at the ranch all too well, but still, this is my first evergreen that I've ever rooted from a cutting. Oh, it's got a little growth at the top. I didn't notice that before. Alright, I'm going to go through, pull out every other one that's got roots on it, and I'm going to transfer them to the containers. Okay, so I'm just going through and digging up these little arborvitae cuttings. It's not looking particularly good for the ones kind of towards the middle of the box though. The sandy medium is a lot drier over here, and they just don't have any roots. I think the edges of the box, water would collect on here and drip down, so it would stay wetter over here. So maybe I should have had it more wet, but then that would make more mold growth, right? Alright, so you can see I've dug all the arborvitae out. Looks like only about 4 of them actually took root. The others are like this, where they've just kind of dried out and died. So before I put this back together, I'm definitely going to water it a little bit. Well, let's look at some of the other plants, see if we've got anything. So this is the cedar. And that's got some little growths on the side of its stick here. See that? The cedar's got something growing on it. So actually, it was Rocky Mountain Juniper, I think. Yeah, it's definitely got some growths here. So let's put that back down where it was. Let's try one of these elder juniper cuttings. That doesn't look like it's got anything. In fact, I think this stick's dead. Spruces, those don't look particularly good either. Here's the Douglas fir. Nothing there. Blue spruce. Nothing on the blue spruce. And nothing on the Austrian pine. So it looks like maybe the juniper and the Rocky Mountain juniper are also going to take root, but almost everything else that I planted in there appears to have died or is just not going to root. So fortunately, rooting the cuttings was only a plan B, maybe even plan C. Plan A is to try to sprout some seeds. And I've started a bunch of these stratifying already, but I'll do another batch here so you guys can see how I'm doing it. So I've got a little tub here. It's filled with this spregum peat moss. It is moist but not wet. See if I can squeeze it and the water comes out. And I'm just going to take a handful of these seeds, just like this. Look at the size of these nuts. And you sprinkle them in, give it a mix. That way they're all spread out throughout the medium. They're not touching each other. Because if they're touching each other, then if one rots, then they'll all rot. Just kind of mix that up. I'm going to close this, label it just like I've done with this one. And then I'll just take this, put it out in the garage, set it up on a shelf, and then in the spring, I'll plant them and see if any sprout. So, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Now I know a lot of you guys want an update on the Carboniferous terrarium, so here it is. You can see that it is growing, it's still alive, and I've just got it inside this closet with artificial lighting until it's warm enough that I can take it out. You see I've also got the arborvitae sitting here. Turn it back.